Clinton is now 60 years old. He married the charming Camilla at the age of 19, and they are still together. Everyone around admires their relationship because they have lived together all their lives, had 3 children, and brought them up perfectly. And no one can even guess how Clinton was sometimes sick of this life, and how scary he was to admit even to himself that their family was built on lies and deceit. Years ago, when he and Camilla had just married, Clinton had moved to his wife's hometown. There they bought a house and lived a typical family life. At the time, it seemed to Clinton that he had the perfect relationship with the perfect woman. The house was always clean and orderly. Camilla always cooked delicious meals and was always affectionate and kind, and they never fought at all. She took care of the children all the time. In general, Camilla spent most of her time with the family, and Clinton made money and helped his wife in his spare time. He never thought of cheating on his wife because he loved her and tried to protect and support her. And then a terrible secret was revealed. Everything happened like in the movies. This ridiculous scene was like when a husband returning from a business trip at the wrong time. So Clinton came home at the wrong time and caught his spouse having an obscene scene with her own brother. It is impossible to describe in words what he experienced at that moment. Clinton was dumbfounded and dizzy. He couldn't believe his eyes. Even now, many years later, sometimes he dreams about that scene and feels the chilling horror all over again. Of course, at that moment he made a scandal. They all yelled at each other, but when the first heavy emotions had passed, they sat down to discuss it calmly. It was very difficult for Clinton, but it was necessary to clarify the situation. Camilla told Clinton the whole truth calmly. It turned out that the brother was not a brother at all, but a classmate and her first love, who she was crazy about. She didn't go into detail about why and how they broke up, but she said that when he came back to their town, their feelings and all-consuming love flared up again. At that time, Clinton and Camilla already had children, and she found nothing better to do than to introduce her ex-boyfriend as her older brother. Her husband was from out of town and did not know all of her relatives well. Clinton had remembered this moment as if it had happened yesterday. His wife looked at her husband happily and introduced him to her own brother. Of course, it seemed strange to Clinton, but the appearance of her own brother had happened just after her father's funeral. So he didn't even bother to ask any more questions. The so-called brother settled in the house next door, and they began to communicate closely. Only now Clinton understood their strange affection, and why the brother was not married, and why his wife sometimes slept there. This is how over the years the lovers have hid themselves behind a kinship. Many years had passed since the truth came out. And Clinton couldn't understand why his wife didn't tell him the truth from the beginning. Why she needed him, and why it all happened in general. Camilla couldn't answer that question too. If Clinton had known everything at once, he would have understood her and let her go away. And now they continue to lie, only he is joined to them. Clinton didn't want the children to see such a nasty side of their mother. They already have children of their own, they just shouldn't know everything. As for Clinton and his wife, they live like roommates and lie to everyone that everything is fine. And sometimes it gets so bad that he just can't stand it, but he endures for the quiet life of children and grandchildren. If you like this story, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Share this audio story with friends. I wish you all the best and see you later.